Good afternoon, everybody. It's Anthony here with Fiorenzo Brothers Sewer and Drain. So just coming at you with another video. So first off, I want to start by thanking everyone that actually subscribed to my channel here. I never really thought that I would get anybody subscribing to me, but I'm glad that at least some are finding my videos and everything that I have to put out there. They're finding it helpful. So thank you for, the comments, the support, and all of the best wishes with the business venture. So that's one. Just thank you very much. So my last video, I know I explained how I used the aluminum ramps to kind of transport all of my equipment around. So as far as where my business is right now, things are definitely going slow, but it's a marathon. It's not a race or a sprint or anything of that sort. So I am working a full-time job. That's to stabilize income, and my wife and I are trying to have kids. Just unfortunately, we do deal with some infertility factors, so some of the obstacles that are in front of us can be very costly. So the job helps stabilize the income and, the insurance benefits. Hopefully the insurance that we have right now doesn't cover all of the IVF and IUI, which is what we will need. So that's been making my progress with building this business rather slow. But it's an uphill battle that it's going to be worth it in the end. Family's first for me, so that's where all of my energy is going towards first. But I've been slowly over the years been able to get all of my equipment that I need to really be able to go out on my own. So the last thing I was able to invest in, I was able to get a good jetter system, which I'm very thankful for. It's going to be able to allow me to offer services that not all of the local plumbers in my area can service. So it definitely improves my chances of getting referred to by other companies and contractors. So that's the exciting news for me. I have done a couple jetting jobs, and everything has been working well, knock on wood. So I'll go into a little bit of some of the services that I do, that I try to separate myself from some of the other contractors in the area. So I do offer excavation services, to do sewer line repairs and replacements. I have a network, where I have a plumber that can pull permits to do the work, and I can excavate. So that's my little loophole on being able to offer that service. But I don't try to jump straight to jumping to excavation work. That's always my last resort. One of the biggest things I do is I utilize the new flex shaft technology. So I use this to be able to cut roots out of sewer lines, and that combined with the jetting service, I try to offer a service that basically will be able to get people not have to spend the money to excavate. But sometimes when you're dealing with bellies and sewer lines, the excavations are necessary. But I try to not be a company that just because I offer excavation services doesn't mean I always have to jump right to referring or recommending that line of work first. So that's how I try to be a little different. So right now, what I tend to do a lot is I'll snake a line, then I'll video it. If there's roots, then I upsell my root cutting service. So that's where I'm at now. Obviously, I also made a video about advertising. So I did put an ad on Craigslist. I wouldn't consider it a success, honestly. I think any responses that I got to, I think were scams, unfortunately. But it was only $5 to post one ad, and I really didn't get much of it. The only thing I did get from it, I think that a Angie's List representative might have come across it, and they actually called me trying to get me to sign up for it. I chose not to do it because I'm working a full-time job, so I don't really have the availability. Most of my work and the calls that I do are kind of like an after hours time, which for me is regular time, so I don't charge like an emergency fee right now, unless it's like a ridiculous time at night. If it's like past 9 p.m., then yes, I will charge, whether it's $100, whatever the case is. But a lot of my calls are happening either at night or on the weekends. So I try not to overbook myself like crazy. But Angie's List did, they sold themselves okay. But for anybody that does watch my channel that does either use Angie's List or has and doesn't consider it a success, please, if you can, leave me a comment and kind of, throw me your 2 cents on your thoughts on Angie's List. I've heard from some contractors that I've worked with that it's great. But just when you hear as many great things, you'll hear just as many bad things. So I've heard mixed reviews. So if you have any experience with using like Angie Pro Leads, drop your thoughts on it in the comments. But right now, I'm working full time. I'm doing my thing. Obviously I do work for a large utility contractor that does different services. If you're in that kind of case and you do have like your own business or you do side work, I'm fully transparent, with the employers, and where I work doesn't affect their service area. So there really hasn't been any kind of conflict. And I know enough from an ethical standpoint that your employer's clients are their clients. Don't mess with that. So don't be stupid, anybody that is trying to get into this type of situation. Be smart, and be honorable. Other than that, I'm trying to think where my next video is. I'm trying to touch on some of the videos I've put out in the past. Because since I have a decent amount of subscribers, I kind of want to get a feel for what everyone wants to see. I'd like to be one of those guys that likes to, bring a tripod and set up stuff on their work area, but I'm really not that into that. But I'll take a video here and there when I'm doing work, and then when I want to set up a video of me doing my root cutting service with the flex shaft and the jetter on my own sewer, so that way people can kind of get an idea and see what it entails. So that's obviously on my goal list. As far as stuff on my jetter, I use like a basic penetrator head, a flusher nozzle, and I have the Root Ranger, which is great. It's basically like a spiral funneling one backward sprayer. Works really well. I have no complaints. I have, if anything, all good things to say about it. I think it's definitely a good investment for any of you jetter guys out there. But right now, I feel really happy with everything. Right now, I'm just focusing on the more important things in my life. So, not saying that the business is on the back burner, but it's not. I'm not putting all of my time and energy into it. I still post on my neighborhood apps and on my community, Facebook pages. So I'll get a call here and there. I'll schedule something, on the weekends, or if it's like a kitchen sink or something small, and I can just do like a flex shaft on the kitchen sink. I'll tackle those at night sometimes, once I get home and get everything done with work for the day. But I'm not trying to overkill myself, I try to spend as much time with my wife and my dogs. I got a full animal house over here, 3 dogs, 2 cats. So, but other than that, things are going well. I'm happy with where I'm working right now, and I'm happy at how I can get, a job or 2 or sometimes even more in a week. It's nice, but I'm hoping, you know, in the future that I can actually put more time and energy into it. But right now it's good when I'm not overbooked and crazy, because I have a lot of time at night to be able to brainstorm my ideas on what I want to do. So one of my next videos, I'm going to have some new work shirts made, but I developed a really cool logo that's going to really entail a lot of stuff with the flex shaft, because that's been one of the biggest things with what I showcase in my business. I'm a big user of the new flex shaft technology. I love it. I highly recommend, I'm going to put a link in the bottom here, but plumbertools.com sells great kits for basically turning in your drill into a flex shaft machine. And it's been great. I love it. It works well. So I've been using them a lot, as well as Rigid. I have the small little K912, which is literally like the size of a steering wheel, and the 102. So I use those on my smaller drains. You know, and then I use their larger 3/8 flex shafts on plumber tools for my main lines to do my root cutting. So that's a link that I'm going to put in here, and I'll try to post some like little tutorial videos too about like how to like lubricate the shaft when you get it, and pretty much just kind of, I'm really going to try to market them, because they sell some great stuff for really good prices, even though shipping costs, you know, from continent to continent can be a little crazy sometimes, but like the cost that you're getting at, you're paying so much less than for some of the other stuff that's out on the market. But other than that, feel free to comment anything with anything you want to see or anything that you want to know my thoughts on. And we'll see you next time. So have a good night, everybody. Take care. And if I see any common comments on certain topics, I'll post one on that, on what you want to hear. Take care.